Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So as you can tell by today's title of the video, we will be talking about a large snowstorm. Now, I want to say this right off the bat because a lot of people, snowstorm is pretty vague. Where will this be occurring? Now, this system will be occurring across the northeast. However, the snowy side to it will really stay north of kind of the large coastal cities, say like Pennsylvania, probably, even Boston, I would say, Hartford, just really interior northeast will pick up some snow and portions of southern Canada, and that's at this point, right? There's still a lot of updates that will be taking place with this system, as this thing is a very complex situation. It's not a simple one. It's not just like a rain to snow transition, a surge of moisture from the south. It's a combination of two kind of areas of energy and an explosion of precipitation. It's relatively not far out, less than 100 hours. It will be occurring end of this weekend, Sunday into Monday, and there will be, in the wake of this system, some very, very cold air, and I will be going over that. Nothing again extraordinary in terms of the cold air, but compared to what we've been seeing, which has been a rather warm fall, this will definitely feel pretty chilly for many folks. So yes, it's a large system again, though don't be surprised if I show you the snowfall totals and your city won't see snow, because it isn't like a nor'easter that's just, a classic one in January or February. It's a one that's a bit more inland, which is why I'm not calling it a nor'easter. Okay, without further ado, let's start talking about this. But before we do that, I do want to quickly remind you that if you do end up enjoying this video at any point in while you're watching this, check out the channel, check out the other videos, see if this channel is for you. I'm a weather enthusiast, right? I like the weather, and if you do happen to enjoy that stuff, please consider subscribing. It helps out a lot. Obviously, don't subscribe just because I told you so. If you actually do enjoy it, and leaving a like also helps out a ton. And if you have any comments or concerns, please leave them down below, and I will do my best to answer as many as I can. Usually I get to most of them, if not all. Okay, let me start showing you the system. Again, this system will develop so quickly and kind of out of nowhere seemingly, that if you blink while I'm putting this forecast through motion, you will miss it. So I will go through this slower, right? But let me just go through it once at a kind of a moderate pace, right? So again, that's Saturday. This is Saturday. This is now Sunday. Where's that system? Boom, out of nowhere, we just see this giant beast develop. And once it develops, it stays strong. And look, it's still lingering across portions of the northeast all the way into Friday, until another system, which is a whole story on its own, potentially knocks it out pretty much with its moisture. And I just want to say that the pattern remains active. Look at all that western precip, potential blizzard. So just even through, the beginning of December, the pattern looks very active. You can see many chances for several large systems, several storms. So hunker down, if you will, because it will be an active, I think, first half of the winter. Does that mean, the rest of the winter will be? I don't know. But at this point, all I can say is that it's looking more and more likely for an active winter. Now let's go and talk about the storm itself in particular, not just talk about winter, which is very easy to talk about. I get excited about that stuff, if you can't tell. We did have a system kind of a similar fashion pulling away right now across the northeast. In fact, as I'm recording this, November 18th, this is Thursday, you're probably seeing some rain across portions of the northeast. Hasn't reached even New York City yet, the rain, but it will eventually. You can see it kind of sweeps off, and by tomorrow it is pretty much out of here. So you can see Friday some lake effect across the Great Lakes and some precipitation across the western United States. Otherwise, it's a pretty nice day. A bit chilly though for many places across the Great Lakes. Now, this is where things get interesting. So we do have a pretty strong high pressure that develops right there, right? And you can see kind of the beginning of it. What this is doing is basically transporting moisture from the south, the Gulf of Mexico, where the moisture levels are much obviously higher, and it's sending them further towards the north. Now again, there's nothing really to interact with. It's just kind of sitting there. The atmosphere is kind of getting a bit more, if you will, wet, kind of a rudimentary way to put it. But notice that it's there, and we do have that southerly flow. and all we need is a little bit of a kind of like a spark, right? And it comes with this large trough. You could see how quickly this appears. It's like a little spear. It's diving into the southern United States, and there's a little bit of a kind of a piece of energy with this. You can see there's some light snow. It'll be, by the way, very windy and cold with this, and you can see that this starts interacting with that precip, and that precip explodes. I mean, 6 a.m. Sunday, you're looking at the radar map, you do see a little bit of snow up here, some precip here. Not that much, but then, you know, look at this. 24 hours later, this is Sunday noon, this is Sunday in the evening, this is Sunday at night, and this is now Monday morning. You see a completely different story. You see snow across potentially Indiana, you know, Illinois, Michigan, into potentially Ohio, and then a lot of rain across the Northeast. Again, not snow for you, but look at the southern Canada, meaning Quebec, not the large cities of Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, but the province of Quebec and Ontario, definitely further north, seeing some pretty nasty amounts of there's snow and just nasty conditions, because look at the winds, especially off here in the Great Lakes region. There will be some very strong winds. So while the snow by itself won't really be, I would say, anything in particular to go home about, the winds with any snow that does fall, which could be around an inch or two, will be a very, very almost bringing areas like Chicago and Indiana, Northwest Indiana, Ohio into blizzard-like conditions. I don't think there will be, right? It's just not enough of that snow probably falling, but the winds will definitely be there. And we do have very, very cold air, which is why this system kind of develops and strengthens rapidly in the first place, and it does so in a very big way. And now by Monday, this is what we have going on, right? I do want to say that we do have a bit of that snow developing across Minnesota and Wisconsin during the day on Sunday, so I just wanted to kind of point that out. That does, again, sweep towards more of the, I guess, the south and east into Chicago, into Michigan, into Indiana, and Ohio. As we put this forward, look what happened to the system. Instead of kind of angling, I guess, to the, kind of continuing its westward track, or eastward track, it angles itself to the north, and what that does is, well, it slows down the system. You can see it really doesn't, it progresses pretty quickly here on Monday or late Sunday, but then here it stalls out, and notice the snow that it continues across Michigan, Ohio. Again, it's not like a heavy snow event here, but there will be some snow, you know, in Columbus, Detroit. Amounts probably 1 to 3. By the lakes, I do think that there could be amounts closer to maybe even 6, maybe even double digits, where the lake effect snow band set up. And I will show you the cold temperatures in just a bit from this wave of cold air. It's pretty impressive. But look, it's raining across the Northeast. It's raining, and more rain, right? And look, we actually do see an intensification of that rain band, and that stretches now into Maine, into much of Cape Cod, potentially getting in on this. Look how far that cold air dives. I mean, the 32-degree line reaching southern Georgia, maybe even they're kind of nipping portions of northern Florida, if you will. And look, this system, it slows down, and it pretty much becomes almost closed off. You can see how this kind of gets closed off from the rest of the flow. And so basically, this moisture is just kept revolving around this. And what that does is, while initially it may not seem like a lot of snow gets stuck across New England, and again, I do want to say this is just one model run, one scenario. Here, look, we do start seeing development of kind of reoccurring snow bands. And now this is Tuesday, midday, and we have cities like Quebec, Montreal, Ottawa, potentially seeing some decent snow out of that. And while it may seem the system's pretty much on its way out, look at this. It comes charging back in areas like Maine and New Hampshire pick up some decent snow right there. Look at that. While portions of eastern Maine do see rain, according to this model, right? And again, it's at this point, the pattern's pretty much changing, but this winter storm's like, wait, hold on, I'm not done yet. That's pretty much kind of the best description of this system. And you can see that it does potentially bring some more rain into cities like New York City, Boston, states like Connecticut, Rhode Island, maybe some snow mixing in. And again, this is just one scenario. Some models develop that kind of wraparound moisture in a much more significant way, and they show a lot more snow. So again, this is just one scenario, but you can see that it's by Thursday, it's still hanging on across portions of the Northeast, and then it finally goes away. And again, the pattern has been already changing for a while, so we have another system ready to come in, which this one could be pretty interesting as well, maybe more of a snowstorm for the United States than this one. As you can see, some areas, especially where that wraparound does occur, could get quite a bit of snow, even again in the United States, but really more of southern Canada will get into this. You can see a large portion of Quebec and Ontario picking up, potentially up to a widespread, foot plus in terms of centimeters. That's 20 30 centimeters plus, and we do have some light snow crossing again Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Wisconsin, and into Michigan, Toronto, which is Canada. I know. There you can see picking up generous amounts of snow, and I do want to say that this system is not far out enough or close enough to really start getting picked up by the NAM model. I think as far as the NAM model goes, it starts showing the system, it starts showing it getting together, and I guess this phase, this part of it, the models agree on a bit more. It's just really what it does with this kind of evolution across the coast. A lot of models are still in disagreement, even though it's not that far out. Look what the Canadian does. So again, we do have that cold kind of spear dipping up cold air. You're right, we have a lot of moisture that again is transported using that high pressure that will be pretty much in action doing that moisture transport, since we're really starting after that cold front passes. So tomorrow in the afternoon it really starts setting itself up, because you can see the flow right now is pretty much from the northwest, and that high pressure is really, I guess, delivering moisture more into the western areas. But as the high pressure shifts to the east, so does its kind of wind field. So then we're pretty much acting as a highway from the Gulf of Mexico up the plains. No big mountains or anything to stop that moisture. It just goes. It's a free-for-all. And you can see that again. We have that rapid explosion. Sunday morning, it's nothing at all. I mean, really nothing. And then by Monday, if you look in the morning time frame, you look at that. That is a impressive system that pretty much erupts out of nowhere again, seemingly. And we do have a lot of snow, especially on that cold, windy backside. You can see the lake effects. I guess the lake effect snow is going on full across Michigan, Superior, Huron, really all the lakes. And again, we do see some of that wraparound. The Canadian doesn't have this trough of cold air as far to the south. Notice it's not southern Georgia as the GFS showed. So this system gets out of here a bit quicker, but notice it's still reluctant to let go. We still have kind of recursions of moisture. And you can see this one always makes its way into Maine. But again, the Canadian keeps it a bit drier. But look, even right there, it spits out another kind of low pressure on Thursday. But again, by then the pattern is already kind of like, okay, move on. And it brings in another system, which again, the Canadian kind of shows in its different format than the GFS. So the Canadian, I do want to say that it does not bring as much snow for, I guess, the U.S. portion. The lakes, it shows pretty active, but it does show quite a bit for Canada, which is definitely something to watch for. I do have viewers from Canada and really, again, Quebec, Ontario, those two provinces. Total accumulated precip, so this includes rain. You can see it's much more impressive because, again, it's not just, I guess, the snowy side that matters, it's also the rainy side, and the GFS also agrees with that rain and actually shows larger amounts. You can see right there. That's definitely a decent rainfall event. Now, I did say I want to focus on a little bit of those temperatures, and let me show you that. I will take a look at the NAM 12 km because the really more impressive temperatures will be across the Midwest, and that will be happening a bit sooner. So the NAM, I guess, goes out far enough to show that. And since I already have it pulled up again, I just want to show you it. Look how quickly the temperatures go down. So say you live in Chicago, and during the day on Sunday, it is the lower 40s, maybe even upper 40s, depending on how far south, say Illinois. But just let's focus on the Chicago area. I'm using it as an example. And then by the nighttime hours, especially in the morning, it's almost it's into the teens. They're the first teens that we haven't had anything below. We're really 28, honestly, I think, is a minimum I've had in my location. So this is definitely going to be a very chilly air mass. And if I were to take a look at the GFS, it shows much colder air. Look at North Dakota. That's the single digits. Potentially Minneapolis seeing right there 16 degrees during the day, not going above freezing. Neither is Chicago. Neither is a lot of Indiana, Ohio, and into portions of the Appalachians. That cold air does eventually spill into the Northeast. You could see many cities, just straight up cold. And that does, again, not last for too long. Even if the snow does fall, we have a change of weather pattern depending on how that system, acts, that second one. If it goes way further into the plains, and it will bring warm air up towards the left side or right side of it. If it's more of a nor'easter type, again, not trying to excite anyone, but just speaking of its relevant track, then it won't bring as much warm air in, and we will have some of that cooler air to stay. So let's take a look now at the European, another model that I kind of wanted to show you about the evolution of the storm. And again, we don't have much activity. It's really seeming pretty quiet, but we do have that cold trough digging in. We have that moisture transport that's already starting to produce rain as early as Sunday in the morning. And then look, within that 24 hours, boom, 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 just a lot of things to track, a lot of things go on. And we do have a quick development development of a low pressure, large areas of rain, and again, and snow on the backside. And look, we have a huge conveyor belt of moisture. I mean, that is very moisture fueled. And again, go to the European, does not dive it as far towards the south as say the GFS, but it's definitely more than a Canadian, so that's definitely interesting. And look, it continues to just explode loads of precip into southeastern Canada. And again, some models show it way off the coast, some models show what the Europeans show, and some show it across the eastern United States. And that would mean, you know, more rain, more snow for where the snow would fall, which is again kind of, I guess, the inland northeast. And yeah, you can see that it's still stubbornly affecting the northeast even by Friday, but by then a new system kind of tries making its way in. But actually, look what the European does. It kind of recreates a little pushback of precip, I'm assuming from that same, I guess, conveyor belt of moisture. And that's all the way by the time it's 200 hours out. So yes, this could be a very long system that's just stubborn to move out. Now again, according to the European, the total rainfall is rather impressive from this, especially right where that conveyor belt really develops. Again, that could, you know, affect extreme portions of east and northeast, say, you know, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, maybe New Jersey. Again, whether or not this develops further inland, closer to shore, or further away. Now notice that again, inland areas are also dealing with decent amounts of precipitation in terms of rainfall. Total snowfall, you can see it's also pretty big for really just southern Canada, not so much for the northeast. So again, that's a pretty stark difference from, say, what the GFS shows, which let me take a look at its most recent model run. You can see it shows quite a bit across inland portions of the northeast and southern Canada. Now these are just 3 models, and again, I said that there's a lot of differences, as you saw, even between those 3, and we also have ensembles. And I show these ensembles whenever we don't have that much confidence in our forecast models, which again, as you saw just off of those 3, we have a lot of differences. So let me just show you a bunch of random ones. I don't want to show too many because it'll take time. I wish I could show you all 50 at once, but I don't have that option. So I individually play it out. Again, look at that. We have that moisture. We have that snow. You can see this is Sunday in the afternoon. Sorry, in the this is in the afternoon. So it's a bit later than what the other models are showing. This one in particular is a bit later. And look, we have that moisture explosion. Boom, the northeast gets hammered. This one in particular develops a lot of rain for the northeast, much more than really any of the models did. The 3 that I showed you. And look, there's that moisture transport. Boom, it's affecting the northeast with some snow, southeastern Canada, and continues to kind of spit back precipitation all the way till Friday, which then maybe another system kind of again comes through, and that evolution of that storm is still rather unknown. Let's take a look at P19. Again, I just chose this because it's random. And there we go. Look at that. Boom. It develops a system. A bit more snow on the backside of this into the Great Lakes, according to this one. A lot of precipitation and quite a bit more snow into southern Canada and even portions of the inland northeast. And you can see this thing continues kind of developing and regurgitating precipitation for a good chunk of time, and then eventually moving off. So again, a very odd system. P24, you can see similar fashion, develops that into a pretty nasty system. Your butt is a bit quicker to move it away. I want to see if I can find a scenario that's a bit more snowy, for example, because I've been clicking on ones randomly, but they've all been relatively not as snowy as some of the ones I've seen using these ensembles. And you can see there's one that shows a lot of snow for, say, for Quebec. And again, there's still a lot of precipitation kind of on the backside of this thing, especially around the lakes. So it's definitely an interesting storm system. And look there, look at that one right there. Look how the second one evolves according to this model. So that one will definitely be also something to watch for. And again, let me just show you a few more of these models. You can see some very heavy snow all the way down into, say, northern Michigan, even kind of Lake Huron area. And this one doesn't stay along for really long at all. So that one is a bit quicker. Let's see if I could just keep showing you this until we find maybe a more different scenario. Here you can see this one. Look how it just shoots up moisture across southern Canada. That is definitely going to be impacting a lot of folks, and we'll have to see how that evolves. Let's take a look at P1, the first ensemble. You can see that generally, it's not going to be a massive system for the northeast in terms of snowfall, but even if a more aggressive scenario comes true and you get one of these little kind of back-building areas of snow across the northeast, which, may even pop up once the short-range model starts showing it. So it may catch a lot of, things off guard, if you will. But you could definitely pick up a lot of inches of snow in a short amount of time, kind of unexpectedly. And again, we haven't been able to click on one that really shows a more aggressive scenario, but they're definitely there because I've seen them when I was kind of preparing to make this video. But yeah, so let me just click on a few more. You can see all of them take the system out in terms of the kind of the snowy side of it pretty quickly. This one in particular does. But as you saw, like for example, the GFS operational just keeps rotating that precip in for a while, right? And you can see that that is a very, very large system with, again, very strong winds. Even though it's light snow, it's very strong winds. It could create some blizzard conditions, and you could still see it's affecting portions of the northeast and southern Canada even by next Thursday, even though it starts really on Sunday across the Great Lakes. There's one, you can see that shows a bit more snow. You can see across the northeast, a bit more aggressive, one of those more aggressive scenarios. And again, look at that. The pattern remains definitely active in the future. So I'll just show you a few more because why not? And you can see the evolution of this thing on Sunday, Monday, and into portions of Tuesday. Again, you can see it shows decent amounts of precip and even snow, this ensemble. So I'm finally starting to hit the models that, again, show more of an aggressive scenario, which is definitely possible. And you could see that would deliver some snow for even areas like maybe Boston, Worcester, yeah, you can see the pattern does remain active. Look at that guy right there. Boom. Right after that system pulls away. It doesn't even have a chance to. And let's look at P21 for the last one. And you can see this one does evolve some snow, a lot of rain, and in general, you can see how big that system is. You can't even see the whole of it because a lot of it stretches out into the ocean. It's a large system for sure. And yeah, again, the pattern remains active afterwards. So that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to cover, guys. I'm going to show you this system. So this may not seem like a absolute massive winter storm in terms of its snowfall amounts, and that's relative, I guess, for southern Canada. Look how much the GFS shows, over a foot widespread. And I'm sure if you were to add into Kuchera, which is appropriate snowfall ratios, they could be even higher because of the relatively chilly air. Again, could drop a bit of snow for Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and some of this may be underrepresented. We'll have to start seeing what the NAM starts showing, the short range models, because those may be a bit more accurate for this system. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all on the next episode. See ya. Bye.